With one day to the election, it is a good time to remember all of the terrifying stuff Kamala Harris is hiding until after the election. After all, she may be dumb, but her handlers are not dumb. And they know you save the really bad stuff until after voters have done their thing. For starters, there are a constellation of migrant caravans, each with thousands of would-be illegals, in a holding pattern in southern Mexico as we speak, cooped up until just after the election, at which point they get the green light. Going by official migrant encounters under Biden-Harris, many of these people will be criminals or even terrorists, your new neighbors. Next up is energy. According to Bloomberg, there is a laundry list of executive actions ready to go after the election, including shutting down oil and gas production, closing the Dakota Access Pipeline that carries oil to the Midwest, all but banning investment in fossil fuels, and even a federal investigation to criminalize the oil industry for alleged climate change. These will collectively send energy prices soaring, but they will tickle the bells of the climate activists currently stashed in the attic until after the election, lest they lose Pennsylvania. Beyond banning energy, there's an environmental onslaught, including restrictions on ozone, methane, and emissions that will decimate what's left of American manufacturing, wipe out thousands of American farms, and cripple American car production, the bloodbath Trump warned of. This would all be fascinating to Michigan voters, which is also why they're hiding it until after the election. To give a flavor, my colleague David Burton highlights one small rule requiring contractors to estimate their climate footprint at a cost of over 3 million hours of compliance and $6 billion in annual costs. There are hundreds of these laying in wait until November 6th. Beyond disassembling the American economy, two other December surprises are your First and Second Amendment rights, so free speech and self-defense. On free speech, the administration's been slow-walking efforts to impose so-called net neutrality regulations that would empower bureaucrats to decide which websites you can access and under what conditions. They've got the so-called misinformation narrative locked and loaded. Pair that with a bureaucratic jihad against Elon Musk and anybody else who allows free speech, and we could return to the dark days of COVID, when political dissent was all but criminalized. Finally, self-defense. Biden-Harris has deployed dehumanizing rhetoric against Americans who use their Second Amendment rights to protect their families when government is proving incapable. But they know gun owners vote, which is why they dress Tim Walz in camo drag while Kamala brags about her Glock. But after the election, it's a brand new day. With voters out of the picture, the baton passes to the anti-gun activists. Expect background checks, lawsuits to put firearm makers and gun stores out of business. Harris has already promised, quote, near universal background checks, red flag laws, and mandatory gun buybacks, meaning mandatory seizing your lawful guns. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. Much ink has been spilled about the industrial-scale deception of the Biden-Harris administration, the cooked economic statistics, the media gaslighting, the cover-ups from Biden's senility to Kamala's incompetence. But the simple logic of elections is you hide the worst stuff until after voters are done. Meaning, if patriots stay home and Kamala wins, we ain't seen nothing yet. So, Kay, we'll be watching. See you next time.